Hey everybody, it's Mark, and today I want to talk to you guys about the psychological blueprint when somebody's going through a professional or a personal setback. Okay, so the first thing is that everybody has setbacks. It doesn't matter who you are, and if you don't raise your hand in the room, then you're not telling the truth, because the reality is that people die, people get fired, people go through breakups. There's just a whole range of things that that happen, right? There was a friend of mine that was just involved in 10 people actually in Broad Peak in Pakistan that were climbing. This is the mountain that's next to K2, and they were all swept away by a awful, violent avalanche and wiped everybody out. And even though I know this one guy in the group, I'm not personal friends with them, but imagine the wives and the husbands of some of these different people and the families and the kids. I mean, it's tragic, right? And the question is really like, how do you navigate your way through those things? And, in my case, I've had a lot of peaks, but I've had a heck of a lot more valleys. And the valleys are those things that you have setbacks. I've gone through a divorce. My dad, around the time that I was going through a divorce, had a major stroke, and ultimately, after 3 months, passed away. My dad was a great guy, a man of integrity, great North Star. He really had the vision on how to be just a phenomenal person in life, and taught me a lot. And that was a big setback, in my little world. I've had other setbacks in terms of job, my career, where just when I thought everything was going just great, I get whacked in the head, something happens. And a lot of these different things that have happened to me weren't even my fault necessarily, right? It's the CEO making bad decisions, which had a huge impact on everybody else. And at the end of the day, you're affected in some way when people in a place of leadership make the wrong decisions, and then you fall into some kind of financial peril, and then it sets everybody back. So again, the psychological blueprint for how do you come out of these things. So here's how I do it. And I've talked about this before, but I really believe that it really starts with being physical, and then mental, and then being soulful. So the body, the mind, the soul. A lot of people say it the other way around. The body or the soul, the mind. Well, it didn't really matter. It's the bottom line is that I start off with having and committing to, and that's the biggest part of this, is committing to the discipline to be out every single day, early in the morning, to process these different thoughts. So what does that mean? I'm up at 5:30. This morning I put a headlamp on. We're in August. I put a headlamp on because it was so flipping dark out there. And off I go every single morning. It doesn't matter what time zone I'm in. I'll fly to Europe. That's 8 hours ahead. I'll go to New York. That's 2 hours ahead. I'll go to Seattle. That's 1 hour back. So I actually get to pick up an hour. But every single morning, 5:30, 7 days a week. And I go out, and it's all towards me trying to gain my 15,000 steps a day. That's part of my goal, right? But it's the commitment that when I go out to a party, I'm at a dinner, I'm with a bunch of buddies that come into my town. I live in Sun Valley, Idaho, and a lot of people come in. Everybody's happy. Everybody wants to stay out. Everybody wants to drink. But every single time, I've got to know that I have to cut it short, and I have to go to bed by a certain time. For me, it's 10 o'clock every single night. And when I do that and I stay committed to it, then I can get up in the morning and I'm refreshed, I'm ready to go. And a lot of times I don't want to get up, but I've committed this thing called FOF, feet on floor, FOF, feet on floor. And by me committing to this FOF, feet on floor, it allows me then to just take that first step, and then that second step, and that third step, and next thing I know, my stuff's on, I'm out the door, and I'm well on my way. And this happens every single day. Now, the benefit, now we go to the mind. I'm building up the resilience of getting out there every single day, whether it snows, it rains, it suns, it doesn't matter. I'm going out. And now I'm processing in my mind all these different things that I'm going through, right? The creativity that comes out is amazing. The creativity of coming up with solutions, helping you go through tough stuff. When I was going through this stuff again with my divorce and with my dad that passed away, that was not fun stuff, but I stayed committed to working out every single day. I come back, then I hop on the bike for 20 minutes, and then I do another 20 minutes of lifting, okay? And so it's just clockwork. It's clockwork. sets me on the right tone. So again, the discipline and the commitment to get up and make that happen every single morning, no matter what the conditions are going to be. And then I move on to my next thing. I think the next point in all this, the blueprint, is really your focus. Where your focus goes, your energy always follows. So if you can write down, you're going through bad times, right? And this is what this whole video is about. You're going through bad times. You're asking yourself, how do I get out of this? One of the first things you might want to consider is writing down where you want to go, where you want to be, what you want your next situation to look like, right? It can be a job. And the more that you focus on that process, the more you don't focus on your circumstance. And it happens that way each and every single time when you're going through tough stuff, right? I know one particular person right now that I was talking to last week, and she was, moaning and complaining, and her energy was low because she was all focused on her current situation of what she wants to get out of, right? And that's the whole point. I said, well, have you written down your goals? Have you reached out to any headhunters? Have you gone to LinkedIn? What are these things that you can do in terms of making and turning this into an opportunity versus a setback? And that's why that is so important to keep at it in that way, in terms of where your focus goes, your energy will always follow. The next thing, you got to stay at it. Again, we're talking about the commitment, but I call it chopping wood. This type of commitment, which is whatever you want to do. It's a new relationship. What are those new things that you want in somebody else? Okay, it could be that. A tragic situation where people passes. It is hard. I've gone through these things myself, so they're not easy. I've had friends die, right? And I choose to look at more the positive of how amazing that person was versus some tragic situation of what is, I'm going to miss them and they're going to be gone forever. And by turning that around and really focus on the positive, it really helps me get through these different things. We're talking about jobs. What can you do to affect change? It's amazing the amount of triggers and the amount of things that you can do that, again, you're going to change that mindset. You're going to feel like you've accomplished something. You're moving forward. It's going to make you feel better. So to me, when you start doing these things, you're eating well. It's all part of the blueprint. It's all part of, trying to emerge from something negative. You don't have to stay in the same state. That's a choice, right? You can have you have that choice to either be bad, be average, be good, great, or phenomenal. And even though your life may not be super phenomenal today, that doesn't mean that if you keep chopping away at it and actually taking tangible action to get there, that you can't be there yourself. It's all possible, okay? It is all possible. So, in short, get out there with a positive attitude, keep at it, be committed, be disciplined about that commitment, keep at it, and good things will happen. Okay? That's it.